By Shem Shai, by Shem Rakakodah, Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of you elect out there, Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Most High is going to roast these ninjas. Anyway, this is a video response. I haven't even watched the video. I kind of opened it up the first 10 seconds and I said, let me just go ahead and do like a video on it. So I don't know what's going to be said in the video, but I have a good idea. The video is put up by GMS South Carolina. Wait, the mark is not the chip. The mark is spiritual. Hashtag bug out. Hashtag false prophet. So now anybody teaching that the Revelation 13, 16, 17, and 18, actually 16 verse we're going to deal with. But you got to also, to get the more of an understanding, you got to also read 17 and 18 verse. Anybody that's teaching contrary to the way GMS breaks it down, and that's, if not all of y'all, mostly all of y'all, 95% of y'all teach differently from GMS. GMS has a true breakdown. And it's going to be found out that we are the true men of the Lord if we continue in this thing of ours. And the rest of y'all, like the major camps, I'm going to mention ISU, PK, IUIC, they teach that the mark of the beast is something other than a microchip. They're going to have to answer first to their congregation. If their congregation, if any of them have a working brain, meaning if you had a lot of these people that go, follow a certain Israelite camp, and they'll get in their mind, the Lord is dealing with this man. So whatever this guy says, no matter how ridiculous it sounds, they'll go with it. Perfect example. 1941 Madison, the ICGJC. This guy, for years, the main school, One West, that the Comforter is the spirit that comes with the scriptures. It's not a man. So he ultimately said he's the God-sent comforter, and those people had no problem with it. They followed him. Some of them woke up in the years later, but when he said he was a comforter for a number of years, I think it was 2005, those guys that came up against him, they all believed that shit. They all believed that. When he said, so-called Jesus, Yahweh, well, we don't know his name. Well, wait a minute. If you're a God-sent comforter, which you're not, but the Most High is not going to give the God-sent comforter the name, that's madness. But what did you do? What did you zombies do? You stayed listening to this guy, and he waxed worse and worse, and nobody checked him, and that includes High Priest Ariel and High Priest Shaw. So y'all were derelict in your duties. Because I wouldn't stand for that shit. But I left long before that. But I would have been, if I was stay that far, if I was stupid enough to stay that far, I would have left back then. Oh, he said Joseph and Mary never had sex. As a matter of fact, Mary never had children at all. She was a virgin. She was called an ever virgin. So I started hearing stuff like that. I said, these guys are changing the true doctrine into a Roman Catholic doctrine. So we started calling him a sellout. Oh, he started teaching that hell, which they never taught that about hell, that there was an actual hell that your spirit burns in. Now you got IUIC teaching it. And you got zombies in there for years. I did a video. The video's up, should be up right now still, as a premiere. Because as of 3.5 years ago, IUIC started teaching that there's an actual spiritual hell, that when you die, even if you're an Israelite, your spirit is going to burn in hell forever. So there's no such thing as reincarnation. They would have to say that. Are certain people chosen to be reincarnated? Yes, just the ones that ain't condemned. They're going to die. But why would they die if they're so righteous? So this is complete madness, confusion, and these are just major stumbling blocks. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushua got so tired of Tazadaki that he took his ass out. He was, I believe, he's in his early 40s. He took him out about 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago. He took him out in 2001 April Fool's Day. So then they started telling the zombies that, oh, he's gonna rise back up next week. Well, they said next week, next month, a year from now. So they believed that he was gonna rise up. Gets going on 6 years, and this nigga ain't raising up, and he ain't gonna raise up when the ships come, because he's not a part of the elect. He's just in the spiritual realm, and he's gonna have to come back as a newborn baby from an Israelite couple. Anyway, let me just go ahead and play this right here. And we don't argue with these people. We don't say, oh, well, let's try to break it to this brother so he can get it. No, we leave him alone. Because guess what? We done put tens of thousands of videos on this subject, the mark of the beast. And it keeps coming up. So come on. Let's go.
Beat system.
First
and what the
Jerry curls, bro. It's 2026, man.
666B. Revelation 13:18.
Saying the mark is not a chip. I'm pretty damn sure he's following us and saying these GMS guys are going off. I'm pretty sure he's doing this video based upon that.
Count the number of the beast. It is the number of the man. A man was created on the 6th day. 7 is God's Sabbath, which equals perfection.
Now you're gonna have people that's gonna follow him. Some of these stupid blockhead women are gonna follow him.
6 represents man without God. The unholy 3. This is a 3-part
That's the first
system
time I heard that, the unholy 3.
of control. The first 6, the political 6. Man's government replaces God's kingdom. That's one of the 6s. The economic 6. Man's currency, fiat and digital, replaces God currency, gold and land. That's the second 6. Religion 6, which is the third 6. Man's science, false religion, replaces God's Torah, and this is the third 6.
And people will actually, stupid blockhead zombies will actually follow this guy.
Is the mark? This is the question that everyone is always asking people, and everybody is so
a simple question. The word, the original scriptures, the King James. I assume you're reading out of the King James. What was the original language it was translated from? You know it was translated, right? Okay. What was the languages? In the Old Testament, the Hebrew. You're right about that. Now, sometimes when you go in the Old Testament and you come across certain words, you might want to get a better understanding by going into the original text, which is the Hebrew, right? If it's the New Testament, the original, like the 4 Gospels, was obviously written by Hebrews. They wrote in the Hebrew language, but it was translated from the Hebrew into the Greek, and from the Greek into the English, from before the English, the Latin, the Vulgate. There are many different translations of the Bible. Was that the Grenada? Is that the name of it? Grenada Bible, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody help me. But the King James and others, the Vulgate was another one. The Septuagint, that was actually the Old Testament translated into the Greek, because you had Israelites that can only speak Greek. So let's go. So I would ask him, the word mark, what does that word mean? And if he gets give me a general answer, I said, no, what's the root word of the mark? If you go into the Greek, you just said you believe that the New Testament was translated from the Greek. So what does the word mark mean here? Anytime you come across the word mark in the New Testament, does it mean the same thing? Now he may say yes, it means the same thing. Or he might say no, it's different things. We'll say, okay, good. So this word mark, what does it mean? If you go to the root word, to the Greek, what is the word? I guarantee you he doesn't know. And if he does say charagma, I say, what is a charagma? Is it a physical thing or a spiritual thing? Because that's in that I looked up the word charagma. It's biblical. If you go to matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. Let me do this right here, just to see what the chat says. Bear with me for a minute. I just want to copy and paste the whole verse. And see, when you deal with somebody like this, you don't sit there and argue him for an hour to make him get it. It's obviously he can't. His eyes are not open. Okay, give me a second. Rev. Look at that. Rev 13. I hit that a lot. Revelation 13 and 16. This just proves that you got. This is how you know a guy is a false prophet. Ask him about Jeremiah 13 and 16. If he says it's something other than what we say, he's a false prophet. This Most High is not dealing with him. He does not possess the Holy Spirit. Another thing, calling on a name, if you don't, or we don't know the name of the Most High. Remember, Tazdaki said that, and what ultimately happened, the Most High, he changed a lot. He meddled not with them that are given the change. I know I sound like a broken record. Okay, I just clicked. Okay, good. And he calls this all both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand on their forehead. So that might, okay, let me do this. Let me go to chat. Chat would have to tell, I'm going to ask him about the mark. What does it mean by mark? Let's go. And we've been through this thousands of times. Give it a second. Give it a second, y'all. Okay, so let me ask this question. Trying to refresh it. Let me try it again, y'all. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Copy. Period. I think that's how you spell verse. Okay, let's see what the chat says. Sometimes the chat. Oh wow, yeah. Oh wow, this chat is. I didn't think this was going to happen. Revelation 13 and 16, and and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, to free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. What does the word mark mean in this verse? In Revelation 13:16, the word translates mark is the Greek noun charagma, meaning of charagma. At its core, charagma means an engraved mark. Come on, an engraved mark. So it's not a spiritual thing. An impressed stamp, a brand or scar. Like if you join a fraternity, or sororities, I don't know, but fraternities, black fraternities, do you know that they brand you? And sometimes that brand with a hot iron, and that's with you forever. And sometimes your arm get affected. These stupid niggas in the college system, and they all gonna die, and unless they come out of that world. You going to college, you go to college to do a little course. If your parents send you off to college, and you staying at a dorm, and you become you join a fraternity and stuff, and all kind of wickedness. Those are black Greeks. They feature that in the movie. What's the movie? School Days. Showed you how wicked those Jakes are in these colleges. And them women, college women, they get around, bro. I know, I dealt with college women. They jump from mushroom top to mushroom top. They very loose and very easy. Anyway, it says an engraved mark. Engraved means to, like if you chiseling into some wood with a chisel, that's the word engraved. An impressed stamp, a brand or scar, an image or inscription cut into something, whether it be stone, whether it be wood, whether it be silver, whether it be gold. When you get your name engraved into like a gold bracelet. Give me a second, y'all. So it's not that hard, man. We're going by the King James. Well, guess what? If you're reading the King James, you're gonna have to have a Greek translation to the King James, because King James, when he put out the order to gather 47 scholars, you had a certain number of them. I don't know the exact numbers. You can look it up yourself. You had a certain number dealt with the Hebrew. You had a certain number that dealt with the Greek. Then you had a certain number that dealt with the Latin. So obviously they knew Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. And why do they say Latin? What do you mean Latin? The Apocrypha, the original Apocrypha was written in Hebrew. It was translated into Latin. Okay? There could have been a Greek version, but I know that when you look it up, the Apocrypha, they'll tell you that it was written in Latin. Whether it was written first in the Greek, I got to go see that somebody help me out. Somebody do the homework, all right? Anyway. So this is simple. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Because guys, hey, like Nate, you know what he does now? Okay, look at that. Look up the definition of that. Hey, look up the definition of this. We'll go to some book, dictionary that the white man put together. Then he'll go to the Bible Hub, which he got that from me. He said one week, let's go to the Bible Hub. I said, wait a minute, man. Who always says Bible Hub? So he be following us, man, to get his game up. And he knows, Bishop Nate and General Yohana knows that the mark of the beast is the microchip. But I believe that they took a bag. You understand? And that it's going to be proven to good false prophets. I didn't know the chat was going to say charagma. You get more truth out of this charagma, out of the chat than you do these other guys. Let me say an image or inscription cut into something. That's why when you look up the word charagma, I believe it's written 8 times in the scriptures, 8, 9 times. The majority of the times it's written in the book of Revelation. There's another outside the book of Revelation is written in the book of Acts. Now I can go to that, and Paul is speaking, and he's actually using the word there for mark is graven, if I'm not mistaken. And he spoke about how we're sons of the Most High, not like a man have sex with a woman, or not like a graving tool going into stone or wood or gold, meaning the graving is a physical graving. You take a chisel and chisel like a gravestone. You have to have a master chiseler, right? Whatever you call it, master craftsman that chisels with a metal piece into stone, right? So the Apostle Paul is saying we're not the sons of God like that. Like he puts up in us. It's not a physical thing. The word mark or the word charagma is a physical thing. It's a physical action. There's a reason why you zombies can't get it. That's a topic right there. It's because you're not of the elect. Because you're going by what a man says. You're trusting the man, pursuant to Jeremiah. Whatever this guy says, I'm going. And that, you know what happened at One West? That happened with High Priest Ariah. If High Priest Ariah said something, they would just go with it. Now, if I said something that was not, that they didn't teach, and I did that, I found other scriptures that they brought me to council, and then they would condemn me for it, but then Ariah would look at it and say, yep, this brother's right. And there were certain times, for you guys to say you master teachers, how many have any of you ever pulled Ariah to the side and corrected him on the scripture? And the answer is no. I pulled him to the side and showed him, Ariah, we should consider this scripture. I think we're going off on this. He'll look it up and he'll change it, right? Matter of fact, he was the one that got High Priest Shaw to ask me what do I think about the Cornelius thing. Remember I used that story, that account? In the Monday night class, Shaw would call, hey, what you gonna do tomorrow? Whatever. I said, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm doing my class. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow morning, whatever. We used to sell together. So Ariah was kind of, in his mind, it was like, Cornelius got to be an Israelite. This was maybe a couple of months or so before the split. So it's obvious he went to Shaw and he said, look, Shaw, call Tahar and ask him what he think about Cornelius being an Israelite. So I hung the phone up on him. I said, look, brother, I'm doing my class. I hung up. I'll see you later or whatever. So Ariah obviously said, well, what did he say? He said he just hung up the phone on me. So Ariah said, basically Ariah did that to see what I think about it because he values my spiritual insight. Okay? So so that got shut down. When the split came, the spirit jumped on Apostle Gabar and he was thinking out loud. He didn't say, oh, brother, the Cornelius is Israelite. He said, you know what? Maybe. That's how he said it. He said, maybe, I don't know, maybe Cornelius got to be an Israelite. He was thinking out loud. We had a spy in there spying for Nate and these other demons, which they're all back in the world, getting ready to get chipped and get eat a missile. So they brought us up on charges, and then we made them look stupid by showing them in the scriptures that Cornelius was an Israelite. And none of them guys saw it because you know what? They were following the leadership. Which at that time they were the leadership because I was part of the leadership on the council, and I said I don't want to be on this council. And they said, why don't you want to be in the leadership council? I said, because you guys. I told them today to the council. I said, this is a wicked ass council. I said I don't want to be on this council because this is a wicked council. And that's when it all went down uphill. Okay, that's when they said we got to do something about this guy. And guess what? All them guys that were part of that wicked council are all back in the world, except for Bishop Nate, but he's teaching garbage. He's teaching nonsense. He's teaching caca, doo-doo. Anyway, it comes from the verb caruso, meaning to cut, carve, engrave, or etch. So they're going to cut, carve, engrave, or etch in your body. That's why it says in the right hand on the forehead. How the word was used in the ancient world. Now listen to this. It's going to go deeper. In the 1st century Greco-Roman context, charagma was commonly used for imperial stamps or seals. Like when you made a coin. Well, here it is, the image of the emperor on the coin. How did the image of the emperor get on the coin? Did they take a picture of it and use a computer to etch it? No, they got a master artisan that he specialized in chiseling stuff. So that he got paid good money. So you had to take each coin and you had to make a press and you press it in there. Take the silver, melt the silver, put it in the press, but somebody had to make the initial press with the, and then when another Caesar came up, they had to make coin for that Caesar. When Titus supposedly took over the tribe of Judah, Yahweh the Copter, Judah's Copted, Judah is conquered. They made a commemorative tongue twister to me, commemorative coin after Titus. And his brother actually built the ark, and they carved, and not chiseled, they chiseled in people, enter into the treasury and taking the gold out of the treasury, meaning the people were giving the Levites, they were giving them gold and silver, or mainly silver, gold too, because they made things out of gold, showing you that another thing Nate goes off on. He said, oh, tithes, you can't give money, you got to give cattle, you got to give the shoulder, you got to give wheat, you got to give this. No, it's anything that you have, 10% of that. The proof is in, I believe it's Genesis 14, if I'm not mistaken. I did a video on Melchizedek. Melchizedek was a high priest over the Levites, and what happened with Abraham, the man of the Most High? He gave tithes to Melchizedek, which is the picture of the Levitical order. So when you say tithes is you can't give money, they don't know what the fuck they talking about. Okay. Anyway. So even you can learn more truth from the chat than you can from these other camps. How the word was used in the ancient word in the 1st century Greco-Roman context, charagma was commonly used for imperial stamps or seals, the image of the emperor on coins, official markings showing authority or ownership, brands of ownership. Slaves were sometimes branded. So this chip is going to be they're going to brand their slaves. They're going to make everybody a slave, a digital slave. Animals were marked to show ownership. They do that today on farms. In case a cow goes into another person's farm, he can't claim it because he said, this is my mark right here. Or the well that Zipporah, the daughter of Jethro, she went to get the well. Now that's in the movie, but that's also in the scriptures. But in the movie they said, see, that's my father's. That's not in the scriptures. They added it in there, right? So that's your signet. That's your signet. An Israelite man had his name, his father's name, his tribe, his nation, and but it was a signet. So they knew that signet. That's where you get signature from. It says religious identification, devotees of a certain cult sometimes bore marks identifying loyalty to a god. That goes back to Ptolemy. Which one? I got to look it up again, but it was one of the Ptolemies that had this Egyptian slaves that were under Egypt. They gave marks. It was a ivy leaf, and I believe, well, as a matter of fact, Antiochus Epiphanes did it too. So they would put a ivy leaf mark on your arm. Hence, when you go to these fraternities, they put that. If you were part of a fraternity, you're gonna have to have that mark on you. A lot of guys got infected, went to the hospital, and they had to cure it. So you can never get rid of it. So you're a slave forever under that fraternity. So a lot of you jakes are a part of fraternities in the college system, and y'all all gonna die. Every last one of y'all gonna die, unless you repent. Because ultimately, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that chip. It's gonna be a hell of a thing when they make that chip mandatory, and we're gonna see who's real or not. We're gonna see what Nate. Now, if Nate says no, don't take it. We're going off. I've been going off for years. Well, you mean GMS is right? Now that could mean that he one of the elect, that he finally woke up. But you should be woken up now. No excuse, because for years you have bucked up against the true prophets. Now you're gonna say the true prophets are right. There's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a major shakeup when that mark comes. That's gonna be the game changer. It says devotees of certain cults sometimes bore marks identifying loyalty to God or a god. When you get that chip, you're paying homage to the elites, the Edomites. And the Most High can't save you. The Yahweh can't save you even if he wanted to, because you chose to be the master, the servant of this master. That's why it says worship. It says, so the word strongly implies visible, recognizable identification, digital identification, RFID, right? Radio frequency identification, tied to authority and alliance. I did a video yesterday on, what's her name? Christy Nome is her name, and she's the head of Homeland Security. And she said, and I showed the video where she said, you're gonna have to prove who you are, whether you're a citizen or not. So ultimately, to prove who you are, you're gonna have to have that chip. And like I said, I've been saying this, they're gonna let a lot of them Latin tribes come back in the country that were in the country. They're gonna open the gates to America to come back and work, the Mexicans and stuff. And but they're gonna say, you can come in and you can live in America, but you got to take the chip so we can find out where you are. So you can go to Mexico and you can come back to the you states. You know, that's why this guy Nero said in I think it was 2015 when he was campaigning to be the first president. He said, and it's on video. He said, we will finally achieve the exit entrance visa tracking system, which we need desperately. What he was talking about, tracking the people. Ultimately, you're going to be tracked through that microchip. In Revelation, charagma does not merely mean a random mark or symbol. It conveys submission, alliance, but it's a physical thing. So I'm breaking it down perfectly. So if you can't see it after watching this video, then you're not one of the elect. And I'll tell you that to your face. You are not one of the elect. As far as it stands, Bishop Nate is not one of the elect. General Yohanan is not one of the elect. Captain Zazariak is damn sure not one of the elect. But however, if y'all say we went off, we don't take it, you may very well be one of the elect. So as it stands right now, if the mark came, if they said today you got to get that mark, and y'all say go ahead and get nothing wrong with it, guess what? You're not one of the elect. And the people that listened to you and took the mark, and they blindly listened to you, and they said we didn't know we was following our leader. Well, hey, cursed be the man that trusted man. Let the Most High's word be true, and every man a liar. In Revelation, charagma does not merely mean a random mark or symbol. It conveys submission, allegiance, authorization, economic and social identification. Economic, money. This is reinforced by the next verse, and that no man might buy or sell except he have the mark. So let's go ahead and read on. This is a comprehensive, exhausted breakdown of the MOTB. We're breaking it down to you. We're not telling you what it is. We're breaking it down to you. So if you're not the elect, you're not going to see it. That's the mark function. And I'm going to say this. You got certain guys that can't see it, haven't seen it in years, but now they can begin to see it. And they may want to get in contact with somebody in the GMS so they can privately break it down. If you look, we don't got to get no private conversation for me to go further into it. Either you see it or you don't see it. We cover everything in the videos. A sign of loyalty to the beast. Now, what's the beast? The beast is breaking up right now. You got all these NATO nations that are joining, that are backing up. Somebody said that, who the hell said that? Well, Canada, they definitely, and Canada is north of the U.S. Canada said they backing up Denmark or Greenland, which is north of them. Okay, it's a sign of loyalty to the beast. And people don't even know what the beast is. Ask any Christian evangelist, what is the beast? It's the Antichrist. A requirement for participating in society. You can't buy or sell. A counterfeit to God's seal. Hand or forehead. The locations are significant. Forehead associated with belief, alliance, and a mindset, which is it's literal forehead. What is it? What is this? What is it? The company that this guy put together? Neurotech. Neuralink, Neurotech. They put chips in your forehead. Right hand associated with action, work, obedience, but it's literally a chip going to be put in your forehead or your right hand. And the act of cutting, they're going to have to cut into your forehead to enter the chip, or they're going to have to cut into your right hand between the thumb and the index finger. That way, they can. Everything's in your chip. Your driver's license, your car registration. I said your driver's license, your insurance. If you have 2 or 3 Visa cards, a bank card, everything gonna be put in your chip. So you're gonna see people shopping, and they're gonna be. That's what John saw. He saw people swiping their hands. He saw them picking up shit and swiping their hands. He also saw doctors and tattoo artists having somebody sit down and putting that thing in there. He saw that, so he wrote it down. Did he understand what it meant? No, hell no, he didn't understand what it meant. The prophets only wrote it down. They saw the vision, they wrote it down, and we as the prophets, okay, we're telling you what it means, because not one prophet understood those prophecies, especially the end time prophecies. Not one of them. We understand it. Okay, this mirrors Old Testament language. Hand between the eyes. Yeah, that's the phylactery, which Bishop Nate and IUIC does not wear. They'll tell you, where your fringes at? I said, where's your phylacteries at? Oh, that's spiritual. Where's that where it says it's spiritual? How do I know the fringes are not spiritual? Summary in Revelation 13:16, the word mark, charagma, means an identifying mark or stamp physically that signifies ownership, authority, and allegiance to who? The elite, which they get their power from the left-hand side. One that is both recognized and required, whether understood literally, symbolically, or both. The word itself carries the idea, conscious alignment, and submission. And it's going to be a physical submission with that chip, not an accident or hidden sign. Okay, compare it with God's seal. Trace a charagma through the Greek sources. Explore literal versus symbolic interpretations held by different theological traditions. You know what I'm going to ask? What's the GMS take on this subject? And a lot of y'all gonna look stupid when it actually comes out. A lot of you are not gonna know what to do. And don't come hunting us down. Figure this shit out yourself. Let's hope this is not long. I didn't get up saying I'm gonna do another video on the microchip, but that video came up in my notification. So it says within the GMS Great Millstone Camp, teaching the mark of the beast in Revelation is understood symbolically, not as a literal. They're going off again. Not a literal mark. GMS teaches the mark is literal. Give me a second. Yeah, they're going off, man. Okay, what GMS rejects? GMS explicitly rejects the idea that the mark is a microchip. But no, dumbass. Let me do this. GMS teaches that the mark is a microchip in the hand. So get it right. Chat. Explain how GMS sees the unfolding of strain about slow holiday correction in Daniel, Main Street Christianity. On sentence GMS summary, according to GMS, the mark of the beast is mental, but no. We went through this yesterday, chat. You're right to correct that. Within Great Millstone GMS, there are camps and teachers who explicitly teach the mark as a little chip, microchip placed in the hand, and sometimes connected to the biometric or digital ID system. Thank you for calling that out. I corrected you yesterday. Here is the accurate GMS position as it is commonly taught, especially by the main, New York, Virginia, and Atlanta camps. I guess those are the top 3 camps, man. And what happened to Florida? What happened to Chicago? That's funny. It says, GMS teaching on the mark of the beast, Revelation 13:16. The mark is a literal physical device. GMS teaches the charagma is a physical microchip RFID type implanted in the hand, and in some teachings tied to forehead biometrics used to identify, track, and control. They often point out charagma means an engraved or impressed mark. A chip fits the definition of something inserted or impressed into the body. buying and selling, digital economic control. Revelation 13:17, and central to their argument. No man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. GMS connects this to cashless society, digital currency, global ID system, corrupt government control of commerce. The chip becomes the authorization key for economic participation, meaning if you don't have it, Carl Malden said the MasterCard, he said the MasterCard, don't leave home without it. Well, guess what? The chip don't leave home without it. Well, the chip is always going to be in you. Forehead and hand, GMS announced. While the chip is emphasized in the hand, GMS also teaches hand literal implantation. Forehead, psychological consent, mental, no, it's physical, biometric scanning, facial recognition. So people are going to say, let me do the biometric scan, or let me do the fingerprint scan or the palm scan, because nobody can counterfeit my palm. Nope, you got to use the chip. Nope, because you can, that we have problems with that. Watch how they're going to do it. And like I said, the main people that's going to come up against this are the Bible Belt, born againers. They're going to come, them evangelicals. They're going to come against it. They're going to be the main ones. And you niggas is going to go right over your head. So even when physical, it still involves conscious agreement. Yeah, you got to agree to it. Not accidental receipt. Because somebody said, well, what if they grab you up and they put the chip in you? See, you going, that's what IUIC says. Well, the Most High, it's a test. The Most High is not going to make, the Most High is not going to, if the Most High control, the man's goings of the Lord. So you mean to tell me you're going to have an Edomite that's going to say, fuck it, I'm putting the chip in your ass? No, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to literally agree to take it. It's a test. But like I said, because you guys are false prophets, you're going to say this bullshit until it comes to pass. When it comes to pass, I'll be willing to pay to see what Nate and General Yohana and Captain Tazariak got to say about this thing. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be watching. When they make that breaking news, everybody got to get a chip. I'm going to put Captain Tazariak. What do you guys say about the chip? General Yohana, what do you guys say about the chip? Bishop Nate, sometimes he's General Nate. He switches up. Master Nate, Master Teacher Nate. I'm going to say, what is your take now? What are you going to say now? So we're going to be watching with bated breath to see what you're going to say. And if you say, go ahead and take it, we knew you sold out. And you're going to look nervous. You're going to stutter when you say it too. You're going to stutter when you say it. And what's his, General Yohana, he said, go ahead and take it. Remember when he first said it? He was stuttered when he said it. Because I said, I heard in my back of my head, cha-ching, cha-ching. Because y'all thought this white man was never going to go down. And you said you're going to spend that money, you're going to live now, and then you're going to go in the kingdom, you're going to repent. Look at that. Okay, show which GMS elders taught this explicitly, meaning this actual thing. Okay, let me go to that. Contrast early versus later GMS teaching. We teach the same thing. We teach it the same way. Examine whether charagma linguistically requires something implanted. I don't need that. Let me do one more. So I gave you a comprehensive, complete breakdown. Exhaustive breakdown. So if you can't see it with this video, you're not one of the elect. Here's what I can confirm. Okay, what is documented about GMS, Great Millstone teaching? Great Millstone GMS is a black Hebrew Israelite sect. They are a radical sect of black Hebrew Israelites with extremist and radically charged teaching. What the fuck does that mean? We just teach the truth. If the Most High is extreme in his delivery, we're going to deliver it the way the Most High gave it to us in the scriptures. The scriptures speak about the destruction, the fire, the lake of fire. And the angel cast a great into a sea, a great millstone, and thus with violence shall Babylon be destroyed. And you arguing about where's Babylon? There are YouTube videos titled or targeted with Apostle and Elders GMS discussing the mark of the beast and the microchip. Message from Elder Apostle Rum Lover. Orion Love refers explicitly to microchip implanted under the skin as a mark. But we all teach that. These are the closest publicly visible examples tied to GMS actually mentioning microchip in a relation to the mark, but they are social video posts, not academic or broadly published doctrinal statements. Yeah, because the scholars don't know what's going on. Summary of what's publicly traceable. YouTube, Apostles and Elders, Great Millstone RFID Microchip, Mark of the Beast documentary. Okay, let me do this. Let me just click on that. This got to be an old one. Let's see what happens, y'all. We don't need to chat no more.
You know, this, we're warning you people out there, mainly you Israelites, that once they put this technology out there, which they have the technology out there, but once they go to implant it into actual people, you're supposed to not take it. You're not supposed to accept it. You know, you're supposed to trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus. All right? So, you know, this is the reason why you have to put on your nationality. This is the reason why you have to come back to who you are, so that you can know what to do in these times. Because there's going to be a trying time coming once the mark of the beast is fully pushed out there.
We put this video together in the form of a documentary. We put this video out back in, I believe it was 2014. 2014, if I'm not mistaken. 2014, 2015. And you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me do this. I believe this was a 6-part video. I did a piece, and the other apostles did a piece on it. Okay, let me go to part 1. Let's see what comes up. Okay, let's go. Let's check this out. Famous Nate.
So the subject is, with this particular mark, you can't buy or sell. Can somebody tell me what a radio frequency chip has to do with that? A radio frequency identification is meant as what? A GPS. To find location. Where's my dog? A sister wrote me and said, my dog has an RFID chip. I said, well, maybe he can go buy some land for you.
Now I'm going to ask a question. Give me a second. He just made a statement you can't buy with an RFID chip. Give me a second, y'all. Can you make a payment with an RFID chip? It's already there. Yes, you absolutely can make payments with an RFID chip embedded in cards, phones, watches, or other devices, and in your hand too. Look at this. Look at this. You're getting scanned on the hand. Ultimately, it's going to be in your hand. So let me read it again. Yes, the question is, can you make a payment with an RFID chip? Yes, you absolutely can make payments with an RFID chip embedded in cards, phones, watches, or other devices, including your hand or forehead, which is known as biometric. Bio meaning life, your living being. Metric meaning measure. Biometric means, among other things, you're going to have a device put inside you, and it's going to link up with the web, the World Wide Web, the cloud and all that. So you're going to be registered. You're going to be registered. You're going to have all your information in that chip. So yes, you absolutely can make payments with an RFID chip. And like I said, I believe this was, give me a second. So if you can't get it on this thing, then you're not one of the elect. It's just that simple. Okay, let's hear it again, because so you don't say, well, you putting words in the bishop's mouth. You putting words. The bishop never said that. Well, here I got the receipt.
A radio frequency is meant as what? Is with this particular mark, you can't buy or sell. Can somebody tell me what a radio frequency chip has to do with that? A radio frequency identification is meant as what? A GPS. To find location. Where's my dog? A sister wrote me and said, my dog has an RFID chip. I said, well, maybe he can go buy some land for you.
Let's listen to that again.
You can't buy or sell.
Let's listen to it again.
Subject is, with this particular mark, you can't buy or sell. Can somebody tell me what a radio frequency chip has to do with that? A radio frequency identification is meant as what? A GPS. To find location. Where's my dog? A sister wrote me and said, my dog has an RFID chip. I said, well, maybe he can go buy some land for you.
So, I played it 3 times, 4 times? And he said it. He said you can't buy and sell with an RFID GPS device. Global Positioning System, RFID, Radio Frequency ID. This is what he just said. And by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Okay? So anyway, let's come on back over here. I know I'm going a little... Okay, let's go back to this guy. So if you watch this video and you can't, I don't see it. Well, that's fine and dandy. You don't see it. There's a reason. There's a reason why you stuck in there so long. That's an inside joke. There's a reason why you can't see it, because you're not one of the elect. Yeah, but I'm a Hebrew Israelite, brother. I accept, Jesus, in the name of Jesus and all that. I said, yeah, okay, you were called, but you were not chosen. You're not one of the elect. We'll see you in the kingdom. So let's go.
I'm confused about what it is, because it'll be a huge sign in the end times, and people think they can get right really fast as soon as they see this mark. Unfortunately, Satan is a lot wiser than that. You see, he uses Hollywood.
And this guy, I don't know if you watch our videos, this whatever, but you're gonna have these I call them pop-up Israelites. Pop-up Israelites. You got a lot of pop-up Israelite camps out there. Guys that watch some of our videos, that watch some of ISUPK, that watch some of Captain Tazariak, watch some of this group and that group, and they said I like what they said in the IUIC, and I like what they said in this one. So they're gonna take a smorgasbord doctrinal information and make their own thing. And then they'll say we going off. Well, look, y'all going off, man. But that's all right, because guess what? You guys are stumbling blocks for the unbelievers, for the non-elect. Just because you know you're Israelite doesn't mean you're gonna make it.
To brainwash everybody. When it comes, you will just block it. So what mark? Forehead represents your mind, your will. This is what you believe. You believe his science, his religion, his education, his safety, his worth, and his media. The right hand. The right hand represents your labor and your action. You work for the beast. You build his cities. You serve his economy. He doesn't need to deceive.
Okay, so if you're working in a construction site, you got the mark of the beast. You driving a truck for a company, you got the mark of the beast. You driving Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, you got the mark of the beast. Any job that you work in, you got the mark of the beast right now.
Deceive you into taking the mark, because you will take it voluntarily.
You got a car that's registered, you're part of the mark of the beast. You got insurance on your car, you got a registration, you got a driver's license, you got a credit card. Sometimes you go to BJ's, like yesterday. Yesterday, before the sun went down. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was yesterday, which was Sunday. It was in the daytime. It was snowing. I went to BJ's because the roads were clear. And I like to go where you pay cash. So sometimes you hit the self checkout and it'll say your options is everything but cash. So I said, okay, I'll take out my bank card. That means I got the mark of the beast. No, it does not mean you got the mark of the beast.
Sure. Because you are loyal to the lifestyle that the beast provides. It's spiritual. The mark is spiritual. It's not gonna be.
Oh, and they got a land out in Atlanta. To keep that land going, you're gonna have to get that mark of the. You can have the land. You can be the black Amish all you want, but you gotta get everybody on that land gotta get that chip. Because we don't know if you're terrorists or not. So everybody got to line up and get that chip. And no problem. You can keep the land.
The physical word. There's a QR code on your face, in your hand. It's too obvious. If that was the case.
Okay, so he's saying it's too obvious. It can't be that. Yeah, come on now. Like I said, the Most High is going to roast these ninjas.
It's way too easy. It doesn't even make sense. Right?
It doesn't make sense to a man whose spiritual eyes are not open. He's obvious. I guarantee you he watched our videos. I guarantee you he made this video in response to the videos that we make. Oh, that it just simply doesn't make any sense that somebody gonna put a chip. They're already doing it, ninja. Sweden, there's anywhere from 25,000 to 50,000. Some say 10,000 that already have it and use it. They go on trains. They use the chip in the right hand, the left hand actually. They got a system called an NFC, near field communication, which over here they call the RFID, radio frequency identification. In Europe they call the NFC, near field communication. That's when you have the 5G, the 6G, and you can, communicate with your hand. That's why you're ultimately gonna get a cancer.
Beast system, beast. What is the beast? Who is the beast? Beast is an empire, not a single person in a red cape or some one world leader, some king gonna rule over everybody. No, it's one corporation. It's a global empire. The beast system is a political corporate power structure.
Which empire is it? Where's it gonna come out of?
It is the kingdom of man that ruled the earth in rebellion to the Most High. Daniel 7:7. Behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong, exceedingly it had great iron teeth, it devoured and break in pieces. Daniel 7:23. The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth. Now this is the anatomy of the beast. The beast has the body of a leopard, which is Greek philosophy and science. The feet of a the Persian/Russian military force.
Oh no, don't, please. I can't hear no more of this. I gotta close this. I gotta close it before I punch a hole in this damn monitor, man. This nigga, I guarantee you, he watching different. He kind of did the smorgasbord thing. Or I like what IUIC says on this. I'm gonna take that from that. GMS, I like what they say on that. ISUBK, Wi-Fi, whatever, Sakari, this group, and IUIC said we don't got to call on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua because we're not sure of the name, so let's call him Christ just to be on the safe side. Anyway, I'm gonna say no more. Shalom, on to the next. This is gonna be a hell of a bumpy ride when whoever makes that announcement. You got to take that microchip. Oh, for the one dude that says Sturmer said you got to get that ID. Now they turned it back, but guess what? They're gonna bring it back up again. Trust me. That what is that national ID? What do you call that? The national ID that they try when you go to change your renew your license, your driver's license. They pushed that. You want the national ID? I said nope. Real ID. I said nope. So in New York, back in the day, you had to renew your license. I believe it was once a year, maybe twice a year. Once every 2 years. Now it's 8 years. So I guarantee you they're gonna say that card is valid and invalid. You're gonna have to re-up your card. You got to get an ID, a real ID, a national ID. You can't go. Now they're letting people go on the planes because a lot of people said I don't want the real ID. So they know that these airline companies are gonna lose money. Watch how much money is lost with RFK Jr. saying if you receive food stamps, you can't buy junk food. The people that receive food stamps, SNAP and all that SNAP benefits, those are the main ones that buy their junk food. So guess what? Those companies that make this junk food, the snacks, they're gonna lose a lot of money. They're gonna make some phone calls and say, you gotta change this, man, because we done lost 50% of our revenue. As of last year, we lost half. So y'all gonna have to do it. And they're gonna do something behind this. This is my opinion. They're gonna do something behind the scenes. They might go to the Supreme Court and they say, yes, you can have your. They're not gonna. They fucking up. How many people eat junk foods, man? It's gonna backfire on them, in my opinion.
And the mouth of a lion, which is Babylon's banking system in the English language. What is the beast's purpose?
What did this dumbass nigga say? I gotta hear this again. Ninjas say the darndest things. Oh, he just broke it down. There's people, this little girl. Oh, he know the script. The Lord, I done see the Lord. He got his Jerry curl. He's so cute. I'm about to believe he a man. He a true man of God. Oh my goodness. Let's listen to that again. And I'm gonna close.
Which is Greek philosophy and science.
Hold up.
They devour and break in pieces. Daniel 7:23. The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth. Now this is the anatomy of the beast. The beast has a body of a leopard, which is Greek philosophy and science.
The body of the leopard is Greek philosophy. So a Negro in a fraternity or sorority, a negress in the sorority, that means if you part of a sorority, that means you're part of the beast system.
The Persian/Russian military force.
Oh, the Persian and the Russians got together? When did that happen? Well, Ezekiel 38, they do get, but that's not talking about that.
And the mouth of a lion, which is Babylon's banking system in the English language. What is
oh my goodness. But niggas are gonna believe it. Let's hear this again.
Persian/Russian military force.
The Persians are the Russians.
And the mouth of a lion, which is Babylon's banking system in the English language.
It's a banking system, so if you speak English, you got the mark of the beast, and you got the mark of the beast, and you got the mark. How do I know I got the mark of the beast? Because you speak in English, nigga. You speak in English. So he got the mark of the beast. Yo, this is bugged out, boy. I laugh at this, man. You can't get mad no more. Just niggas just accepted that ninjas are bugged the fuck out.
What is the beast's purpose? The function of the beast? It is a machine designed to colonize the earth steal resources, and enforce its own laws.
So robots are the beast.
It for this video. I want to do another video where I talk about the Holy Land. Where is the Holy Land? Where could it possibly be? What are the hints that will take us to the Holy Land? Like this video, if you enjoyed it, comment for any questions. Thank y'all.
Yeah, because he's the expert. Anyway, I'm not going to play the rest. Y'all watch the rest of this. Because the elder Manatazak going to say pretty much the same thing I've been saying. Ice Cube is going off. Oh, he's more than going off, brother. That's an understatement. Jake's still doing this in 20. Well, wait a minute. Hey, brother, you can't knock him. You got IUIC doing it. All them other camps, so it got to be true. It got to be true. Fools have no interest in understanding. He got understanding, he just got the wrong understanding. They only want their own opinion. So anyway, all the world, all these women, Korean women, all these women, they're fascinated by Jake. They're completely fascinated by Jake. When you know a man's kingdom is going down when you lose your woman. Anyway, shalom, on to the next.